Overnight, America attacked Venezuela, a sovereign country. Explosions were seen and heard across Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. Chinook helicopters were seen flying over Caracas. The whereabouts of the President Maduro and his wife were unknown for a while. It now seems confirmed by America that the Delta Force, America's Delta Force, went into Caracas or wherever he was located and captured him, captured the president of a sovereign country. And this just goes to show that America's imperialism is now naked imperialism. It's on a different level. They were always imperialistic, but under Trump, this is on a different level. What he says, and people think is lighthearted, whether it be about absorbing Canada into the United States of America, taking Greenland from Denmark and making that a US territory. This is all not lighthearted. This is genuine. His genuine feelings, his genuine desires. And these are his plans for the world. And he went for what looked like a soft target. Venezuela first. And go in, and he captured Maduro. What's the world going to do? Now, obviously, people are calling for the UN, but what power does the UN have? At the end of the day, the UN can only achieve something if one of the 5 permanent members, of which America is one, doesn't veto, a resolution put forward to the Council. So the UN is basically useless in this, in confronting American imperialism. And who's next? It seems like it's Iran. Iran is next. He's itching to go after Iran. I don't think Iran is going to be as easy as this, but suffering, America is number one at inflicting suffering. Or maybe number two, with Israel being number one at inflicting suffering upon people. So he's going to certainly be emboldened by his success here with Venezuela, the smaller target. And this is going to push him perhaps to continue on to Iran and other places as well. The good news, or glad tidings, for people in the world who are independent-minded, who have ideologies that differ from this capitalist, Zionist ideology, this military-industrial complex ideology that Trump, Netanyahu, and that wing of the Republican Party in America follow, and the Democratic Party for that matter, is that they cannot hold on to territory. That they're experts at inflicting suffering, hardship, killing children, killing mothers, killing fathers, killing old men. They're experts on this. But they cannot hold on to territory if the local people have got their act together. We saw that in Afghanistan. They went in there, they overwhelmed the Taliban. They were like a column commander at the time, I remember, was interviewed. He started off with 200 soldiers. With America's shock and awe on their positions, he was left with 14 soldiers. So imagine that, 200 soldiers to start with those daisy cutter bombs. He had 14 left in disarray. They described the fall of the Taliban as falling like a pack of cards, and that's how it was, city after city, together with collaboration from the Northern Alliance, because there again, America always relies on local traitors. And there are local traitors in every country. But the big win, the shock and the awe, they suffered for 10 years. They inflicted suffering, but they also suffered in Afghanistan. Their occupation was unsuccessful. 10 years later, they leave, and they leave the Taliban in a better position militarily than they were before they entered the country. Hummers, equipment, etc. And this is not just a one-off, just Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is special. Afghanistan is special in some ways. They kick out empire after empire, but not completely special. Vietnam did it. Again, in the beginning, America would have went in shock and awe. Would have been like impressed. The American public would have been like, wow, we are so great. Look how well we're doing in Vietnam, fighting the Chinese or socialist or communist threats and so on, made up threats. But what happened? We know what happened. We know what happened in Saigon. They even left their babies behind. They're half Vietnamese, half American babies. They even left them behind. So many later on, took efforts to reunite or to get to America. In some cases, those American soldiers didn't want to hear about them as well. Yeah, been there, done that, doesn't matter, it's my blood, but don't care about them. So they left in a hurry. uncoordinated, unplanned. These people can't hold territory, and that's the good news. In the immediate term, there's bad news for Venezuelan people, Venezuelan soldiers who are innocent as well. They are almost as innocent as civilians because they did not wage a war against America. America waged a war against them. So in the short term, the situation is bad. As I say, America, number 2 expert at inflicting suffering. So they are inflicting suffering on Venezuela. But in the long term, if Venezuela holds their shit together, they can. There's no reason why they cannot be the Vietnam of South America. This is not the Roman Empire. As impressive their weapons are, their aircraft carriers, etc., this is not the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire could hold territory, and many other empires as well could hold territory, govern territory. America cannot do this. So, down the line, we hope Venezuela gets its freedom again. And, we just got to watch what's happening. And depending on how well this goes, it seems like Iran is next. And they're already playing their games with the population in Iran. People with legitimate grievances. There are also people who are like just plain down traitors. As in every country, there's always traitors. And the whole thing about the economic situation and the protests in Iran at the moment, and also the economic situation of the Venezuelans for years before. You think, oh no, their ideologies have failed. No, their ideologies haven't failed. Their ideologies haven't even been given a chance to fail. They could fail had they been given the chance, but they've not been given a chance to fail. So for now, socialism, that Islamic Republic system in Iran have not failed. America didn't give them a chance. America intentionally used all its economic levers to make Iran fail, to make Venezuela fail, to make Cuba fail. And then they go to their own populations in America and tell them, oh look, capitalism is great. Why is capitalism great? Look at socialism. It never works. It never works. No, you've never given it a chance to work because you hold the power. You starting off in a position of power and strength, overwhelming power and strength, economic levers, the banking system. You got a stranglehold over the United Nations as well. You've got all this power, so you use it to make sure socialism fails. You made Cuba poor. And this is also targeted at American people because they want American people to think there's no other option. Capitalism, yeah, it's imperfect, but look at Cuba, look at Iran. Do you want to be like that? Of course not. And Americans feel strongly about it because they've been pumped with propaganda for a long time as well. And, a lot of people are very gullible. But they haven't given these ideologies, these systems of governance a chance. And the American people got to also think now, they don't jump on the Trump wagon. You remember, he was the anti-war candidate. That's what he painted himself to be. Look what he's doing to you all. Do you not think that Zionists behind closed doors are laughing at America, laughing at Trump, laughing at the Republicans, laughing at the American right because the extent that Netanyahu can twist them and make the most powerful country in the world a poodle of Israel and a poodle of the military-industrial complex as well. I'll keep you updated. Please don't forget, like and subscribe. If you're watching on TikTok, please subscribe on the YouTube channel as well, where there's different content and longer content.